Hi there, and welcome to another segment of Chaz Radio. I want to share something with you. I wrote, it's called America's Been Sold Out, and it's my opinion on this subject, but I'd like to share it with you and see what you think. It would be impossible for me to, to cover everything I want to say about this, in one setting, but on this subject anyway. But I will cut to the chase with the basics. And I believe that when our leaders sent our jobs overseas, they knew what they were doing. They knew that they were trading our jobs of the average Jane and Joe, basically for cheap electronics and for the corporate bottom line, if you will. If you fast forward with me to the late 1990s or thereabouts, the capital gains tax, gives everyone the opportunity to be conditioned, if you will, allowing them to, basically take out loans on their homes or sell them for great profits, over $200,000 per member of the household for a married couple. You're looking at $440,000, $480,000 tax-free. And it did give people a sense, I believe, of false security. Conditioning them, if you will, for the fall that came with the financial supposed meltdown. And you move forward to the 2000s, early 2000s. Real estate then goes through the roof. Loans are given to anyone who will ask for them. And lenders know. They're smart. I wrote insurance. I know what risk is myself, These people knew that there would be a problem coming down the road when the money needed to be paid back. These are loan sharks, and they're not new to the game. They know what a safe risk is, if there is such a thing. And at this point, let me ask you, if you want to destroy a nation, for example, let's just move forward with this. You want to destroy a nation and its people, what's the best way to do it? What's the best way? You put them in debt, and then you put them out of a job. And if you remember also, this nation has a military, see. The members, they have families, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, children. And you can't overcome a nation like that has guns in the hands of everybody who has a home or lives under a roof, if you will. So that what they do, they send them out of the country, to fight a war that's a lie. It's a multi-pronged attack that the U.S. has gone through here. And we've put ourselves in this position. I'm not blaming other people. This is not only a country problem. This is an individual problem here. I'm one of the main offenders in my life. Not everybody around me. They send our men and women in uniform, making up false accusations and complete lies and fabrications. To invade and destroy a country. That really. Saddam wasn't a very nice man. Obviously, he was a murderer. And he had his day coming. But these murderers and these liars and these cheats, that are running this country, they're no better. Just because they live in a different country and, have a different set of books. They're the same murderers, same killers. They are. They just do it differently. They do it with a stroke of a pen that they're not even supposed to make in the first place. They invade a country, and guess what? The enemy in uniform, it's defeated quickly. I don't know how many, what was it, a week? A couple of weeks? And we've been there for over 10 years, $10 billion a month. I don't know where its money's not going, but I can tell you this, it's going in the pockets of those who started that war on lies. You add that to the deaths and the mutilations of our beloved men and women and children in uniform, it's not a stretch to start to wonder, if maybe the purpose is to destroy not only a country and a military, but to, line the pockets of these fools, that are thinking they're going to, I guess they think they're going to live forever. But they're not, It don't work that way in this life. They destroy our military by these lies they invent, And the very people who should be here defending us from these thieves are the very people who are taking it up front and, getting killed first and mutilated. It's a sad thing. Where are we now? $14 trillion plus dollars, $15 trillion in debt. we're paying these guys to kill us, paying them to enslave us, take our rights away, destroy our Constitution, as they planned it. Unemployment through the roof. The media controlled by the same, liars that spout promises and false data, about our predicament. Homeowners are victimized by the bankers, foreclosed on, while the crooks that positioned them for the loss get bailouts and they walk away, as business as usual. Not to mention, our produce, even our produce and vegetables, you can't really get anything grown in this country anymore. It's sick. Space program, it's been ended, but not until we helped build a space station with the very country that opposed us for years during the Cold War. You see where all the lies start and where they've been. It's all been a bunch of lies. You try to talk to one of these people, they're supposed to be your elected officials. It's like a silent government. Once they're in office, you don't hear from them anymore. You try to find out what happened to the $2 trillion that went missing on 9/11 when the Pentagon was supposedly hit. $2 trillion. They never talk about it. The $750 billion plus that old Bush left office with, for his cronies, These are thieves. They're murdering thieves. They're murderers. They're thieves and they're liars. These people are not concerned with your sovereignty or the sovereignty of this country. I've said it before, and I'm about done saying it right now. These are thieves, murderers, liars, and they're treasonous. But there's a bright side to all this. Some of us have done well in all the mess. Those are the ones that are supposed to be helping America. The American people. The silent officials who, when they're elected, they're like puppets, they've retained to invade our privacy and police our lives, while they rewrite our forefathers' dreams and promises with their new money-making ideas, their new money-making laws, more things for us to have to pay for. We're paying them to write the laws, and they're giving it back to us by fining us with them, destroying us, bankrupting the country. That's the mission right now. Now Obamacare. Hey, guess what? That'll be the final nail. $1 trillion in medical for the soldiers. We're 17 trillion in debt already, and now we've got good old Obamacare. Like we can afford to pay for all the sickness and death that they're going to start creating, as they've been creating for us, with their spraying and everything else in the sky. I could talk about it for a year and I wouldn't be done. These are rats. Keep your eyes open, because I'll tell you what, I think we're at the point of no return. I think it's just a matter of time now before they march the Chinese in on us. Yeah. Government's finished. Government is in bed with them. It's over with. It's over with. More will be revealed, man. God bless. Keep the faith.